Let's come to our main topic, and the topic is valuation is not only about the numbers, it is also about a story. There is no doubt about it. Whenever we have to do any valuation anywhere for any company across the globe, we will have to use the numbers. We will have to use the numbers for doing the evaluation. Without the use of the numbers, valuation is not possible. And this is also true that those numbers have to come from a story. Those numbers have to come from a story. And it is also true for the people who are trying to raise money from the capital market. It is their moral responsibility that when they give their story, when they give their number and their story must be authentic, accurate, realistic, true, and without any misleading information that can cause damage to the retail investors in particular. Now, this is the theme of our session that we have today. So, the question is, what is value? And how valuations are found? So, सबसे पहले सवाल ये है कि वैल्यू क्या है, और दूसरा सवाल ये है कि वैल्यूएशन क्या है, और तीसरा सवाल ये है कि वैल्यूएशन करते क्यों हैं. तो अब देखिए, बहुत सिंपल सी बात है. वैल्यू वैल्यू का मतलब क्या है? द मीनिंग ऑफ वैल्यू ऑफ कोर्स इज वेरी सिंपल. वैल्यू इज नथिंग बट यूटिलिटी ऑफ एन एसेट. वैल्यू इज नथिंग बट utility of an asset. Only when an asset has a utility, it will have a value. Only when an object has a utility, it will have value. If an object has got no utility, it will have no value. And that is the simple definition of utility. Now, what is valuation? And the simple definition of valuation is converting utility of an asset in terms of money is valuation. Quantifying utility of an asset in terms of money is valuation, and that of course is the simplest definition then one can think of to understand as to what the valuation is. Remember, valuation is not doing an exercise in Excel sheet. Using Excel sheet, doing some calculation is only a medium. Valuation ultimately is to convert utility of an asset in terms of money, and that is valuation. Now the third question, why do we do valuation? हम valuation करते क्यों हैं? And we do valuation because somebody has to take a decision. Somebody has to take a decision. To help that someone to take a decision, we do the valuation. Friends, I am sure as I am talking to you, all of you can very easily understand in your mind कि पूरे दुनिया में जो कॉरपोरेट वर्ल्ड है, बहुत डिसीजन लिए जाते हैं. लॉट ऑफ डिसीजंस आर टेकन डे इन एंड डे आउट. देर आर डिसीजंस टेकन ऑफ कॉरपोरेट ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ. There are decisions taken of inorganic growth. There are decisions taken of the operations of the businesses. So continuously decisions are being taken all over the globe by all the corporates. And believe me, in the bottom of every decision which is taken by the corporate anywhere lies the valuation. So why do we do the valuation? We do the valuation for the purpose of taking a decision. For the purpose of taking a decision. And the question number 4 that we need to understand, what we try to find out when do we do the valuation. तो जब हम valuation करते हैं, what is that we are trying to find out? We are trying to find out value, but remember, not any value. Remember, not any value. What we are trying to find out, we are trying to find out something that we all understand is the fair value. So quickly, the 4 questions. Number 1, what is value? It is the utility of an asset. What is valuation? Converting the utility of an asset in terms of money, in terms of monetary terms, is valuation. Why do we do valuation? We do the valuation because somebody has to take a decision. So basically, as the valuation professional, what we are doing, we are helping our clients or our companies in taking decisions. And obviously, the most important question is, as valuation professional, whenever you are trying to do the valuation, what is that we are trying to find out? Please remember, we are not trying to find out any value. we are not trying to find out just the value. We are trying to find out the fair value. And please remember, not only we are trying to find out fair value, but it is our bounden duty, it is our moral obligation, it is our responsibility, it is our duty. And that is what, that is whenever we are doing valuation, we have to do everything possible under the sun so as to arrive at the fair value. And why do we have to arrive at the fair value? We have to arrive at the fair value because somebody is going to take a decision. Somebody is going to take a decision. And remember, if the value that I arrive at is not a fair value, and if based on that value, if my client is to take a decision, my client is going to take a wrong decision, and if that wrong decision is taken, it is going to have negative consequences for my client. And if my client is going to suffer on account of the evaluation that I have done, that means I have failed in my duty somewhere, I have failed in my obligation somewhere, I have failed in my obligations somewhere. And that is the reason, friends, we need to understand as to, is the evaluation only about the numbers, or is the evaluation only about a story, or it is combination of both. And at the outset, at this juncture, friends, I can tell you, it is always the combination of both. It is always the combination of numbers, because numbers we have to use for the quantification of the utility, and that those numbers got to come from a story. Those numbers got to come from a story. Only thing is that the story has to be correct. So just to be quickly, to be on the same page, we all understand this. Basically, there are three approaches all over the world for the purpose of valuation. Doesn't really matter whether we are doing valuation of tangible assets, or we are doing valuation of intangible assets, or we are doing valuation of fixed income securities, or we are doing valuation of derivatives, or we are doing valuation of land and building, or we are doing valuation of plant and machinery. It doesn't really matter as to what is that we are trying to value. In all the cases all over the world, there are only three approaches for the purpose of valuation, and those three approaches are: number one is the income approach, number two is the market approach, and number three is the asset approach or the cost approach. And we all understand as to what are the methods available under the income approach, and under the market approach, and also under the cost approach or the asset approach. Now, having understood this, let us understand as to why companies get the valuations that those companies get. तो जो जितनी कंपनियां हैं जिनके बारे में हम जानते हैं, जिनके बारे में हम सुनते हैं, उनको जो वैल्यूएशंस मिलते हैं, why do they get valuations, whatever valuation that they get? And in that context, we can understand valuation of profit making companies like TCS, Infosys, IRCTC, DMart, Maruti, SDFC Bank, Bajaj Finserv, Kotak, Larsen & Toubro, Infotech, Mindtree, L&T, Reliance, Accenture, Axis Bank, Apple, Google, Microsoft. Now, all these companies, as we all know, are getting very attractive valuations on the stock market. And why all these companies are getting very attractive markets, very attractive valuations on the stock market, we all understand. And that is because these companies are profit-making company. These companies are apparently creating value. So since these companies are profit-making company, they obviously are creating value. And since they are creating value, the value that they are creating, value that all these companies are creating, is getting reflected in the valuations that these companies are getting on the stock market. So this is understood. Where is the confusion? Confusion is about some of these companies, which are making losses. तो बहुत सारी कंपनी ऐसी आज की तारीख में जिनके बारे में हम जानते हैं, सुनते हैं और हमको मालूम है, और वो कंपनियां लॉस कर रही हैं. Even though these companies are incurring losses, yet they are getting very good valuations. Not only they are getting very good valuations, but they are also getting very good funding also continuously from the private equity or venture capital fund or anchor investor or angel investor or seed capital provider or the high net worth people. So every one of them, despite the fact that all these companies that we are going to talk about, all these companies, even though they are incurring losses, yet all these companies are getting good valuations. तो सीधी सी बात हमारे दिमाग में एक सवाल आता है कि क्यों इन कंपनीज को इतने ज़्यादा वैल्यूएशंस मिल रहे हैं. सो वी हैव अ कंपनी कॉल्ड अलीबाबा, अमेजॉन, फ्लिपकार्ट, मेक माई ट्रिप, जीवनसाथी.com, naukri.com, बिग बास्केट, पेटीएम, फ्रेश, पेटीएम of course is an exception, we will talk about it, freshmark, up uber eat, policy bazaar, first cry, inmobi, yatra.com, swiggy, pesa.com, zomato of course is a question mark, dunzo, grofers, ola cab, delivery of course is a question mark, lensmark, lenscart, urban ladder, pepperfry, byju's big question mark, udan, Renew Power, BuildDesk, PineLab, Dreams, Rivigo, Ola Electric, Airbnb, Zerodha, Cashify, Frazo, Redbus, Abex, Spotify, MobiQuick, Misho, JustPay, NoBreaker, Car24, Spinny, CarTrade, CarDeco, Slice, Zepto, and UrbanClap. Now, all these companies, most of these companies are obviously incurring losses. And if they're incurring losses, then why they are getting so good valuations? And the answer, of course, is very simple, friends. And the answer is they are getting good valuations because they have a story to tell. They have a story to tell. And it is the authenticity of the story of these companies that makes them get such good valuations. Let us understand one by one as to what is the story that these companies have to tell. We talk about Alibaba, Amazon, and Flipkart. What is the story of these three companies? The story of these three companies, friends, is these three companies and companies like them, Alibaba, Amazon, Flipkart. Now, what these companies have done, these companies have brought the global market at your doorstep. तो ये तीन कंपनियों ने क्या किया है? ये तीन कंपनियों ने पूरी दुनिया की मार्केट को आपके घर के दरवाजे पर लाके खड़ा कर दिया है. क्या मतलब है? मतलब ये है कि अगर आपको कोई प्रोडक्ट दुनिया में कहीं से भी चाहिए तो आपको वो प्रोडक्ट खरीदने के लिए घर से बाहर निकलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. What you only need to do, you only need to go to Alibaba, Amazon or Flipkart or companies like them, and then you will get that product sitting at your home. And that is their story, and that is the reason as to why they are getting so huge valuations. What is the story of IRCTC, Make My Trip or Yatra.com? I am sure, friends, all of you would remember आज से 10-15 साल पहले when IRCTC was not there, if you and I needed to travel to any location from anywhere to anywhere in this country, what you and I needed to do, you and I needed to come out of the house, get into the car, take the car to the railway station and park the car at the railway station, go to the ticket where the booking would be done, stand in the queue for an hour or so, maybe longer time, and if you are lucky, your turn will come. Otherwise, chances would be that the moment your turn comes, the clerk sitting on the side would say, "Sir, lunch ka time ho gaya, 1 घंटे के बाद आइए." And then again you go after 1 hour, you stand in the queue, you tell him that I want to travel to this place, book a ticket, and you will tell him that this is the class that I want to book in, and he will do the booking, and he will of course do the booking for you and tell you you are waitlisted or you are in RAC or this is the amount. Now you did not have any information when you were going for booking. Today what you have, today if you have to book a ticket for traveling from any place to any place in this country, you do not have to come out of your house and go to the railway station and do all that rigmarole and spend time and petrol in traveling to the railway station. What you need to do, you just need to open your laptop, go to the website of IRCTC and plug in as to which is the date that you want to travel on, which is the place that you want to travel from, and which is the place that you want to travel to. you will have all the options available, all the options available to today in front of you that you would not get 15 years ago. So you will have all the options कि कौन सी गाड़ियां हैं, कहाँ कितने कितने बजे निकलती हैं, कितना कितना उसका टैरिफ है, कहाँ पर वो रुकती हैं, कितने बजे वो निकलेगी, कितने बजे पहुंचेगी, बीच के जो स्टेशन है वहाँ पर कितने बजे पहुंचेगी, वहाँ पर कितना स्टॉपेज का टाइम है, कौन सी क्लास की टिकट अवेलेबल है, कौन सी क्लास की टिकट अवेलेबल नहीं है, कितना आपको हर हर क्लास पे चार्ज भरना है, and all that information you will get. In case if you are not able to get the ticket of the date that you are wanting, they will also give you, the site also will give you flexibility, so you can ask for the next date. Now that is the story of IRCTC, that is the story of makemytrip.com, and that is the story of yatra.com and companies like them. And that is the reason why these companies, they may be incurring losses as it stands today, but they are still getting very attractive valuation, because what these companies are doing, these companies are making the system efficient. These companies are helping the economy, helping the individuals in the economy to save on the cost, and not only save on the cost but also save on the time. And please remember, when you go and book a ticket, you are not the only one in that day who is going to go and book the ticket at the railway station. Millions of people every day will go and book the tickets, and you can imagine millions of people doing booking every day for the whole of the year. Can you imagine the money that is saved, the time that is saved by millions of these people into 365, into whatever time period that you want to assume? What kind of saving because of IRCT's product the economy is getting and the individuals are getting, and all that saving and the removal of the inefficiencies from the system, remember, is reflecting in the evaluation of IRCTC, or in the evaluation of Make My Trip, or in the evaluation of Yatra.com. So this is the story of these companies. What is the story of Jeevan Sathi, PolicyBazaar.com, or Naukri.com? I am sure, friends, as I am talking to you, you would be automatically be able to imagine in your mind as to what is the story of jeevansathi.com, what is the story of policybazaar.com, or what is the story of naukri.com. So the story of jeevansathi.com, you can imagine India is a country of 130 crore 130 करोड़ हमारे देश की पॉपुलेशन है, और आप समझ सकते हैं every year how many marriages take place in this country, and you can imagine जितनी मैरिजेज होती हैं उतने लोगों को डिसाइड करना पड़ता है, सूटेबल ब्राइड ढूंढना पड़ता है, सूटेबल ग्रूम ढूंढना पड़ता है. तो ये सब ढूंढने के लिए कितना टाइम जाता है. एंड रिमेंबर, and the choice that you would have was limited, because in the past, before the jeevansathi.com, what you could do, you could only contact some of your relatives and tell them that my son is to get married, my daughter is to get married, I'm looking for a suitable boy, I'm looking for a suitable girl. In case if you know one, please refer it to me. At the most, you could go to a broker. And what the broker would do, broker will have a database of limited number of people, and he will, कच्चा पक्का जॉब करके आपको कुछ बताएगा, कुछ नहीं बताएगा. With jeevansathi.com, what you have today, with jeevansathi.com, you do not have to go anywhere. Now what you need to do is simply register details of the boy or the girl on the portal of Jeevansathi with all your particulars as to what kind of giving the profile of your boy or your girl, and also giving the requirements as to what is that you are looking for in the boy or the girl that you are looking for. And remember, the whole universe is now available to you on the tip of a few clicks. That is the story of jeevansathi.com, and that is the reason why jeevansathi.com is getting so huge valuations. That is the story of policybazaar.com, and that is why they are getting so huge valuations. And that is also the story of naukri.com. So as an individual, remember, in case if you were looking for a job, what could you do? You could reach 5-10 companies and apply to them. And likewise, if you were an employer, if you were a company and you were looking for the suitable candidates for employment in your company, what you could do, you could advertise in a newspaper that would of course have a very limited reach. But today, because of the Naukri.com, you as an individual job seeker can have can make yourself available to all the companies who may be looking for your kind of profile. And likewise, all the companies today do not have to really advertise every time in a newspaper and pay a very hefty price. What they need to do, they just need to specify their requirements on the Naukri.com, and then of course you are flooded with the kind of profile that you are looking for. And that, my friends, is the story of jeevansathi.com or policybazaar.com or naukri.com. And that is the reason as to why, friends, these companies are getting so huge valuations. What is the story of Reliance Fresh or Big Basket or Grofer? Again, the same story, and I'm sure you can now very easily understand yourself. So, what is the story of Reliance Fresh or the Big Basket and Grofer? So, earlier, if you needed to buy some grocery, what you needed to do, you needed to come out of your house, go to the market, go to a shop, and look for some things that you are looking for, and then come back after buying it. And you can imagine the kind of time and money that you were spending in the entire process, which time otherwise could have been used for something which is much more valuable for you otherwise, but you could not do it. Today what you need to do, just go to the website of Reliance Fresh or Big Basket or Grofer or many such companies which are available today in the market, put your requirements, and sitting at home you get your grocery. And remember, no extra cost. On the contrary, all these companies today are able to take the benefit of economies of scale, and because they're able to take the benefit of economies of scales, they're able to pass on these benefits to their clients and to their customers. And as a result of that, not only you save in terms of time, not only you save in terms of money, and perhaps you also get benefit of cheaper prices. And that is the story of Reliance Fresh, Big Basket, and Grofer. What is the story of delivery? Now, again, the same thing. So, in case you needed to move from one place to another place, and if you were to make all the logistics arranged by yourself, you could imagine what kind of efforts and time and things that it would involve. But today, with delivery, this job has become so simple for you, and the whole thing is done by the company, and you are able to save your time. It may be a little expensive, more expensive than what you would do by yourself, but I'm sure if you put everything together, you would realize for you it is still an economical decision. And that is the story of delivery. What is the story of Zomato, Swiggy, Uberbeat, Dunzo or Zepto? Again, the same story, friends. So अगर आपको कहीं बाहर खाना खाना है, right? So obviously you could go to one restaurant and you could order something in that restaurant, and that's it. But with Zomato or Swiggy or Uber Eat or Dunzo or Zepto, what you have a very significant advantage. And what that advantage is today, if you want to eat outside or if you want to eat something from outside, what you need to do, you do not have to go to a place. You just go to these portals, and you will have all the options available in terms of what kind of food that you want to eat, and the varieties, the choices, the menu, and the everything is available. The price is available, and any place in your city, you would be able to order that stuff and get it at your home. And that is the story, friends, of all these companies which are in the business of QSR, that is quick service restaurants. What is the story of Urban Club? अर्बन क्लब की स्टोरी क्या है? अर्बन क्लब की स्टोरी ये है कि अगर पहले आपको घर में कुछ प्लम्बिंग का काम करना है, इलेक्ट्रिकल का काम करवाना है, या हेयर ड्रेसिंग करवानी या हेयर कट करवाने हैं, या कुछ और काम करवाना है, अगेन यू नीडेड टू गो आउटसाइड. एंड टुडे बिकॉज ऑफ द अर्बन क्लब, घर की सफाई करवानी है, घर की क्लीनिंग करवानी है, और भी कुछ काम करवाना है, you just need to approach, go to the website of Urban Club and place your requirements. You will have the people coming and doing the job for you. And friends, at this point in time, I can also tell you, since it is being done in an organized manner, in a systematic manner, all these companies are expected to ensure the safety and security and the integrity and reliability and the dependability of the people that they employ is duly taken care of by them. and generally as it appears that it is functioning quite well. Of course, there have been one or two instances when things were not as they should have been, but generally speaking, it is working fine. So that is the story of Urban Clap. You save time, you save money. What is the story of Oyo और Airbnb? तो अब देखिए, ओयो या एयरबीएनबी के पहले अगर आपको किसी नई जगह पर जाना है और वहाँ वॉट एवर मे बी द पर्पज, यू आर ट्रेवलिंग एज अ टूरिस्ट और यू आर ट्रैवलिंग देयर बिकॉज यू हैव टू अटेंड सम फंक्शन और यू हैव टू अटेंड सम प्रोग्राम, what you needed to do, you needed to find a hotel and book that hotel, pay that money, and so on and so forth. You will have all the challenges. What Airbnb has done, Airbnb has brought all the vacant premises, houses, flats, apartments, bungalows at one single platform. And Airbnb is able to offer all these flats, apartments, bungalows, and farmhouses to someone who would like to use them for a temporary period of few days. And in the entire process, what Airbnb has achieved, Airbnb is creating value for owners of those flats and apartments and the bungalows and farmhouses and things like that. Why? Because otherwise, all these premises, all these flats and residential units will be wasting, lying vacant for the whole year. Because of the Airbnb, the owners of these premises are able to earn some cash because they're able to rent them out. And at the same time, since these premises do not have unnecessary overheads, even the user of these premises, which are through Airbnb, are cheaper for them, and therefore they are creating value for the user of those premises and also for the owners of those premises. And that is the reason as to why Airbnb is getting so huge valuation. The concept is same in case of Oyo also, but unfortunately Oyo has been in the midst of few controversies for whatever reason, and that of course is not the scope of our session, so I'm not going to focus on that. What is the story of Quikr, OLX, कार्ड देखो एंड स्पिनी? अब देखिए, बहुत सिंपल सी बात है. अगर आपको आपकी गाड़ी बेचनी हो या आपको कोई अपनी दूसरी कोई सेकंड हैंड गुड्स है जो आपको डिस्पोज करना है, बिकॉज यू डोंट वांट टू यूज इट, यू नो दैट यू नॉट गोइंग टू यूज इट, इज जस्ट गोइंग टू लाई विद यू फॉर ऑल टाइम्स टू कम. तो आप डिसाइड करते हैं कि भाई मुझे इसको डिस्पोज करना है, और डिस्पोज करने के लिए ऑफ कोर्स इट वुड बी अ चैलेंज, whom do you dispose it to? But today, because of the Quikr or OLX or car dekho or spinny, this job has become very easy and very simple. And this, friend, I can tell you, based on my experience also, one of these four companies, I would not like to name that company here. One of these four companies I used for selling my car, which I was using for quite some time. And I approached one of these companies, and you will not believe, within a period of 2 days, the whole deal was done. I got a price which is much better than what I could have expected, and not only the price that I got, which is much more than what I would have expected, but the whole transaction was done in a very professional and systematic manner. And the money was given to me, the car was taken, the documentation was done. So this is the story of Quikr, OLX, car dekho or spinny, because they are making your life easy. So when they are making your life easy, of course that means they are creating value for you. And if they are creating value for you, obviously that value that they are creating for you has to reflect in their valuations. And that is the reason why Quikr, OLX, car dekho, spinny, or companies like them are able to get so good valuations. And you can imagine, it's not my car alone which is sold in this country. Hundreds and lakhs of cars are sold in the second-hand market today, and you can imagine what is the size of the second-hand car market in this country, and what kind of the ease of doing disposal of the car these companies are providing. And it is on account of that story these companies are getting so attractive valuations. What is the story of Book My Ticket or Book My Show? So yesterday, when I say yesterday, that means before you had the Book My Show or the Book My Ticket on the scene. In case if you wanted to watch a movie, what you needed to do, you needed to go to the theater a day in advance. so as to book the ticket, so that next day when you come, you do not have to return disappointed. So you would go there, and in case if you are lucky, you will get the ticket. In case if you are not lucky, you will not get the ticket, and you will come back home disappointed in any case. If you take a chance, go on the same day as the show is, and again it can happen. If you are lucky, you will get the ticket, and if you are not lucky, then you will not get the ticket, and you will have to come back again disappointed. And you can imagine the time that you would have spent in coming and going, and the petrol that you would have consumed in coming and going. And so that means that petrol has a cost, and the time that you have spent also has a cost. But today, with the Book My Show and Book My Ticket, what is the scenario? The scenario is that you want to watch a movie. You do not have to go to the theater. You just go to the website of Book My Show or Book My Ticket, and remember, you open it, and you will get to know all the movies that are running, all the movies that are running in that city, in all the theaters. And not only you will know as to which are the movies which are running in all those theaters, but you will also know as to what are the timings of those shows. And not only you will know as to what are the timings of those shows, but you will also know as to how much the money that you have to pay. And not only you will know as to how much the money that you have to pay, but you will also know as to which is the closest theater from your place, and so that you do not have to spend much time in traveling. And all that saving these companies are making available to you, friends, is their story, and is the value that they are creating for you. And it is that value which they are creating for you collectively, for everyone in the country, which is reflecting in their valuations. And finally, friends, of course, a company called DMart. I'm sure all of you would know. This company came out with a public issue about 6-7 years back, and as I would remember, the issue price was something about 315 rupees. When the issue got opened and got listed, I think the listing was at 600 plus. So the listing was almost at a 100% premium to the issue price. And thereafter, this company's valuation on the stock market have been going up and up and up and up. In between, of course, there was some decline, but the company has been performing consistently. Of course, DMart is making profit, there's no doubt about it. But a question that can come to your mind, and मैं आपको बताऊं कि ये जो 300 रुपए का शेयर जिन्होंने इशू किया था 7 साल पहले, 6 साल पहले, वो एक समय पे 5,000 रुपए का था. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब है कि इन 7 years द इशू गॉट एन एप्रिसिएशन ऑफ 7 times ऑन द स्टॉक मार्केट्स. तो एक सवाल आपके दिमाग में आ सकता है, हाउ इज दिस कंपनी गेटिंग सो ह्यूज वैल्यूएशन, 7 times appreciation in the issue price, sorry, 14 times appreciation in the issue price. How is that? Why is that? And that is, friends, उसकी जो स्टोरी है, अगर वो स्टोरी आपको मालूम करनी है, तो उसके लिए आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? उसके लिए आपको जाना पड़ेगा डी मार्ट के जो आउटलेट्स हैं पूरे हिंदुस्तान में. और आप देखेंगे कि पूरे हिंदुस्तान में, विदाउट एनी एक्सेप्शन, any DMart outlet that you go, you will see there is a long queue of people waiting outside for their turn to come. And remember, why all these people are standing in the long queue in front of the retail outside of DMart? And that is because DMart, because of their logistics management, because of their supply chain management, because of the arrangements that they have, the negotiations that they can do, the economies of scale that they have, they are able to sell their goods at a price which is cheaper than the price that would be charged by anyone nearby.
हेलो, बस बढ़िया है जी. हैप्पी न्यू ईयर जी. कहीं नहीं जी, बस ऐसी. ससुराल में क्या करेंगे जाके? वो बेचारे वैसे परेशान, क्या जानते हैं.
Please, can you mute
और
yourself?
कुछ
Can you can you mute
हाँ,
can you mute yourself?
वो वहीं रहता है. क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? लाल कुआं, जो धौला कुआं के पास. धौला कुआं के पास वो वहीं का लिया हुआ, वहीं से लिया. बधाइयों का नंबर है वो तो. हाँ, क्यों, क्या हुआ? अच्छा, पता नहीं मुझे,
Uh,
मैंने ध्यान नहीं
Suman,
दिया।
Suman, I think you have unmuted yourself. So can you please mute?
हाँ, हाँ, वही हो क्या? अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक, चलो ठीक है, पूछता हूँ। रास्ता सीधे ही चलना है ना? हाँ, क्या वो मॉल में नहीं चलना था? इधर ही रखता हूँ, इसी रोड से तो मैं जाता हूँ।
Hey Sanjay, you can uh, mute from the central point.
Okay.
आ गया, हाँ सीधे।
All right. So
आगे से लेफ्ट रखो।